Alrighty, YouTube, it's your boy Zxous, so we're back with another Goddess of Victory Nikke video. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about how to prep for the NIER collab, what you probably should, be stacking up on, obviously, and what you should be aiming to at least have ready by the time the NIER collab comes out, because I want to assume everybody's ready for the NIER collab, or at least, trying to get ready. So we're going to be basically trying to help out with that. So if you're new, subscribe. We're like 20 subs away from 5.8, which is crazy because that means we can actually hit 6K by the end of the month. So if you're new and this is helpful, or if you're new and you want to support your boy, hit that sub button. But obviously, one thing that we've hated for the last January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September. For the last 8 months, one thing that we've hated for the last 8 months was the simple fact that we would get abnormal gear and it would be basically useless, right? Obviously, right now in the game, we have literally only 3 abnormals and one of them are SR. So we really have 2 SSR abnormals that we actually do use. Makima's probably the only one that people use. Like, I think only maybe higher players like Whales use power. But like the average Nikke player is not using power. Maybe Makima for things like PvP and the train or some bosses and stuff like that, but definitely not Himeno and definitely not power for the average Nikke player. So obviously, I said this multiple times months ago, but obviously since the collab is happening now, we're ready. But you want to kind of have your sets ready, right? I think 2B is a character that will be decent enough. That's just based on like her being in collabs with other games, right? 2B always ends up being at least decent, right? So I think she's going to be pretty decent here, and I think you're going to want to overload gear her. So if you are able to, make sure you guys, obviously have these ready. I would say don't overload any abnormal gear until these characters drop, but try your luck at, getting these gears. I wish they had a way you can like build gear and like actually build the gear you're looking for, right? Maybe like even for pilgrims, I feel like they just, I don't know, they don't make it that pilgrims are like, their gear don't feel like it's the same rates as normal and Tetra and Missiles and stuff like that. They say it is, but it doesn't feel like that for like anybody, honestly, not even just for me, but literally your abnormal gear. Another thing is I would highly recommend, until the collab does end up happening, to actually save your custom modules, right? Me personally, I am saving all my custom modules, right? Obviously, for someone like my Modernia, I could make my gear better, right? I think one of these have like charge damage, right? I can lock this up and then re-roll, which is what I actually want to do. But again, with the NIER collab, I do think I want to get those characters overload, because I do think they're going to have be pretty decent. But that's just all based on, again, collabs from other games. But highly recommend to save all your custom modules until, or at least 8, if depending on if you plan on making 2 sets, but minimum 4, maximum 8, just in case if you plan on making 2 full-blown sets, right? She might be a character, the 2 characters A2 and 2B might be characters that are going to be characters that you're going to need in the future for like maybe solo raid, union raids, or maybe they're perfectly fine for bosses or progression. Hopefully none of them are PvP based characters. That'll kind of be ass. But definitely, I would say save your custom modules until then. Like the collab is in what? 23rd, 24th, 25th, 26th, 27th, 28th, 29th, 30, 31. In 10 days, right? In 10 days or 9 days, I guess, depending on where you are. 10 or 9 days. So literally you have 10 or 9 days to save, right? You could save your tickets, right? And you probably should, actually, because one thing about collab characters is that you cannot get their bond up with attraction, or with the advice, I want to say, not attraction. That makes no sense. You can't get their attraction up with advice, right? So obviously, for example, the regular characters you can, but when it comes to abnormal characters, you cannot. So the only way you can increase their attraction level is through tickets, which I don't have because I use them all on Modernia. So I would highly recommend to definitely start saving these tickets if you do want to, of course, increase attraction. right? It's really as simple as that. Now, that's really it, right? When it comes to abnormal gear or abnormal characters, there's not much, because there's not much abnormal characters and stuff like that. Obviously, the common things, like you guys already know, the gems, the tickets, your golden tickets, like I think you guys already know what to do when it comes to that. But when it comes to obviously the gear, hopefully you guys are not just selling them, right? I know a lot of people just sell off their abnormal gear because they find it useless. I used to do it, but obviously then that was like early on when abnormal first came out. Then I just started to save them, because I know I had an abnormal attacking boot, right? I know I had a full set before, but I ended up losing it clearly. So yeah, it's a big L on my part, so definitely don't ever do that. And then again, for attraction, if you want to get the attraction up, that's how you do it. So it's really as simple as that. Not really much to go off of because we never had that much as normal. But you guys let me know what you think. It's your boy Zxous. See you guys next time out. Peace.